Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
Dramatic video of a motorcyclist dragged and trapped under a truck. How it happened and how he was rescued.
Monster waves slammed the Southern California coastline. The dangerous waves even caused a cruise ship to be diverted. Find out how long the high surf will last. And an earthquake jolted folks out of bed across the LA area today. We have the latest. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jory Rand. I'm Giovanna Lotta. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. Tonight we begin with breaking news out of Texas. There's been a shooting at a controversial art event near Dallas. That event features a contest for cartoon depictions of the Prophet Muhammad. The shooting apparently happened just outside, and the building is now on lockdown. This is video from inside the event. We're going to show that to you. There it is, where the organization was live streaming the whole situation. You can see a SWAT officer telling everyone inside that one police officer and two suspects were shot. We will continue to monitor the story and update you here on Eyewitness News and on Facebook, Twitter, and ABC7.com as the details become available. And some dramatic video today sent to us by a viewer using the hashtag ABC7Eyewitness as a motorcyclist is knocked off his bike, then dragged under a pickup truck down the 91 freeway west of the 71 in Corona. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter shows us the incredible video and what happened next.
Complete chaos as Good Samaritans rush to help a motorcyclist stuck underneath a pickup.
Saw an F-50 truck, looked like he had a bumper underneath, dragging a bumper underneath his car. It was kind of flapping around. I got closer to it, and I saw a leg. It was a human body. Totally freaked me out.
Byron Holman started rolling as he and several other drivers rushed to help the victim.
He was kind of, screaming, but the fact that he was doing that was good because we didn't know if he was alive or not.
The drama unfolded Friday night around 5 p.m. on eastbound 91 near the 71. Friends say the motorcyclist was hit by a car changing lanes, knocking him off his bike and right into the path of the truck.
He's breathing.
Holman says the victim was dragged about 10 to 15 yards. One of the Good Samaritans who jumped into action was Chino Valley firefighter Andrew Hubbard, who was on his way to work.
So I got out and I went over there, and sure enough, he was stuck under the vehicle. He was pinned. His leg was under the tire, and the lower portion of his back was underneath the axle.
Hubbard knew they had to get the victim out as quickly as possible in the midst of the panic.
We need more jacks. He's asking for more jacks.
Hubbard helped organize the situation, getting several jacks from drivers who were able to lift the truck just enough to slide the victim out.
Yeah, all right, buddy. You're okay, dude.
Hubbard helping keep him calm until paramedics arrived.
Right place, right time for myself, and wrong place, wrong time for him. But I'm glad he's doing well.
The motorcyclist was rushed to the hospital. No word on his condition, but witnesses say it didn't appear he suffered any life-threatening injuries. His helmet and full-body protective gear doing what it was designed to do. In Chino, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Wow, an amazing story, and that incredible video was sent to us from an Eyewitness News viewer using the hashtag ABC7Eyewitness. If you have a story you think we should know about, send it to us. Just post it on social media with the hashtag ABC7Eyewitness and join our circle of eyewitnesses. The big waves have been a big attraction for beachgoers taking advantage of the nice weather, but going in the water is a different story. You're looking at a live picture from our camera in Laguna Beach. You can see some very large waves out there. They're out there. Eyewitness News' Q McCrae talked with some surfers who have been taking on the large swells.
That was gnarly. Massive waves along Southern California's coastline attracted crowds of camera-snapping sightseers and daredevils.
It's really hectic out there. It's kind of sketchy, but it's super, super fun.
This is the Wedge at Newport Beach. Famous for its surf, waves sometimes hit 20 feet today. Yellow tape kept onlookers back. Lifeguards patrolled the sand and water to make sure everyone was safe. The black ball flag is up, meaning no surfboards allowed. So thrill seekers body surfed.
This is really difficult. I mean, this is where you want to come if you're really experienced. And even experienced guys out here have trouble. This is the best of the best out here. I mean, it's gnarly.
Local beaches are being hit with unusually big swells that are expected to continue through tomorrow. The big swells are being caused by several storms hundreds of miles away. In Huntington Beach, waves were about 8 feet this morning. No black ball here. Surfing was okay.
Conditions look good. Ocean doesn't look too rough, so I think the winds were calm overnight, so it should be fun.
The waves also bring strong rip currents, so people near the surf line are asked to be extra cautious.
We want people to definitely know their limitations, so if they don't know how to swim, they shouldn't be in the water at all. But check with the lifeguards. They'll point out the areas that are the most hazardous, and hopefully we'll be able to find a safe place to enjoy the day.
In Orange County, Hugh McCrae, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The big waves along the Southern California coast also forced the Carnival Imagination cruise ship to dock down in San Diego instead of Long Beach. The cruise line says tying up at the south-facing waterfront could have put stress on the ship's mooring lines. Passengers who were supposed to board that ship in Long Beach are taking buses down to San Diego.
All right, these dangerous conditions aren't done yet. Let's turn things over to Danny Romero, who's got a first check of the forecast and the conditions on the shore.
All right, thanks very much, Jory. Yeah, we've got still very, very dangerous conditions. We've shown you there in Q's piece that the waves are just really big, very impressive to watch. Stand back on the shore and enjoy the view, because we're showing these areas in the purple here around LA County, Catalina Island, Orange County coast as well, with this high surf advisory in effect till Tuesday night at 11 p.m. We're talking about 5 to 10 foot sets, huge. Even some 12-foot sets are in there too. And on top of that, the very, very strong rip current. Actually, should say not on top, but below. That's where it's beneath the surface. People don't know it's there. Also, they're pulled off way far from shore. Very dangerous for folks that are not good swimmers. Even experienced people, take caution out there. As I say, get there, enjoy the view, stand back on the shore. Now, besides the surf going on, we've got rain possibly coming in. I'll tell you about that with a 7-day forecast in just a bit. Right now, Giovanna and Jory, go.
Danny, thank you. An earthquake jolted folks out of bed across the Los Angeles area today. The 3.9 magnitude quake centered 1 mile northeast of Baldwin Hills struck just after 4 o'clock this morning. This is what it looked like on our Eyewitness News quake cam. Following the earthquake, LA City firefighters surveyed the area, but no damage was found. The USGS says the quake was relatively shallow and not severe enough to cause major damage. But the shaking left some people feeling a bit rattled today.
I felt a quick shake on my bed, and it was terrible. I woke up, I was sleeping, and I just screamed, and I woke everyone in the room.
I've been here all my life, so it's like natural for me. So it just rolled, and it didn't go a long time, so I was grateful that it stopped quick. But it was a good one.
Yeah, I just heard the frames of the house shake, and was startled, woke up, lasted about 5 seconds, and then I went back to bed.
It was a good jolt. This is the third quake within the past month near the Newport-Inglewood Fault.
In Nepal, rescuers continue to look for survivors more than a week after that massive 7.8 earthquake. The rescue effort received a vital boost today with the arrival of U.S. military helicopters. Last week, the UN made an emergency call for as many helicopters as possible to airlift supplies, especially food and shelter, to hard-to-reach communities in the mountains. The death toll there has now climbed above 7,200. The approach of the monsoon season is increasing the pressure to get help as soon as possible. And make sure you and your family are prepared for the next major earthquake here in Southern California. Check out our Prepare SoCal resources on ABC7.com for a list of what should be in your earthquake kit and much more.
A dramatic scene in San Francisco's popular Haight-Ashbury district as a double-decker tour bus catches on fire. It happened at Haight and Schrader Streets. Cell phone video captured the scene. All passengers were evacuated safely. No injuries were reported. These photos were posted on Twitter by a bystander. You can see how intense the flames got in that picture. The bus afterward looked heavily damaged. Authorities closed off the surrounding streets during the incident, and the cause of the fire is now under investigation. And a man is under psychiatric evaluation following a standoff with police after climbing on top of a Metro bus and staying there for hours. It began around 2:30 this morning at 8th 8th and Olive Streets in downtown LA. Metro Transit says the man was drunk and talking about committing suicide. Witnesses say before this incident, the man was at a party with relatives and friends, and there was an altercation. Authorities blocked off several streets, and a crisis negotiation team finally convinced the man to get down about 3 hours later.
In Baltimore, the citywide curfew has been lifted. The National Guard is backing off in what today is being called a day of prayer and healing. This all comes just 2 days after 6 police officers were charged in the death of Freddie Gray. ABC's Jim Avila has the latest.
Sunday in West Baltimore is a day for church, especially this Sunday. A day of prayer and reconciliation after a week of protest and violence ignited by what the Baltimore City prosecutor says was the illegal arrest of Freddie Gray and his death at the hands of 6 police officers now charged with a range of crimes, from official misconduct to manslaughter to murder. Outrage that even last night led to more arrests as police tried to enforce curfew. And while today's demonstrations were again peaceful, there were reminders that the state's attorney, who according to an Inside the Investigation story in today's Baltimore Sun, surprised the task force looking into Freddie Gray's death with the speed with which the police were charged. And now she has to prove her case.
Please do not confuse an indictment with a verdict.
The next flashpoint, May 27th, when the 6 officers make their first court appearances. But for now, Baltimore settled down enough for the mayor to announce today she is lifting the 10 o'clock curfew in effect since Tuesday.
Right now, I'm very confident. What we saw over the past few days is not just the resiliency of our city, but also our communities coming together.
At the epicenter of the riots today, relief and rebuilding. Streets quiet, but still bearing the scars of looting and purposeful property damage. Federal fire investigators on the scene sifting through the ashes of the corner pharmacy, and 6 others suspected riot-related blazes.
That was Jim Avila reporting. Baltimore police say they have made nearly 500 arrests since Freddie Gray died.
One day after Italian and French rescuers saved more than 3,600 migrants from smugglers' boats in the Mediterranean Sea, hundreds more migrants are rescued. Italy's Coast Guard and Navy, along with tugboats and commercial vessels, rescued at least 16 boats filled with hundreds of migrants today. They also recovered 10 bodies off Libya's coast. Authorities say smugglers are taking advantage of calm weather to send migrants across the sea, often in old vessels that eventually leak.
In Nigeria, community leaders have accused Nigerian troops of killing dozens of civilians to avenge the deaths of 6 soldiers. This as new footage has been released supposedly showing the Air Force operation to free hundreds of women and children held captive by the militant group Boko Haram. You can see women and children escape the bombings while militants flee. In total, 275 people were rescued and able to make it to a refugee camp this weekend.
Coming up on Eyewitness News, a shocking discovery in a treehouse. What investigators say a group of kids were keeping there.
And fight or flop? Was last night's battle between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao the fight of the century, or just a big letdown?
Plus, scary moments at the zoo after a ride stops. Hear from a rider who was stuck dangling above the animals.
It was billed as the fight of the century, but did the fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao live up to the hype? ABC's TJ Holmes has some answers.
Floyd Money Mayweather may have been booed by the crowds, but in the end, he proved the better fighter, defeating Manny Pacquiao by unanimous decision, later showing off his $100 million check, a down payment on what could add up to be a $180 million payday.
Do you have the $100 million check on you right now?
Yes.
Right here in your pocket?
I don't want to put it on camera.
Yeah, that's the real deal right there.
The star-studded crowd watched Mayweather take control right from the start, but with no knockouts or even knockdowns, Mike Tyson was not impressed, tweeting, "We waited 5 years for that? Hashtag underwhelmed." Pacquiao later revealing he almost postponed the fight because of an injured shoulder. The Nevada athletic officials denying him use of a legal anti-inflammatory injection just before the fight. Still, Pacquiao said it wasn't why he lost.
I did my best, but my best wasn't good enough.
For the millions shelling out up to $100 to watch from home, last-minute panic when pay-per-view glitches delayed the fight. The show went on, but it wasn't the show many had hoped for.
A Floyd Mayweather win meant that it wasn't going to be a crowd-pleasing fight. He clearly did enough to convince the judges that he won that fight, but it didn't make the fans that happy.
No, it did not. That was TJ Holmes reporting. Now, a fight may also be brewing between fight promoters and live streaming services. Many fight fans who didn't want to pay the $100 pay-per-view price turned to live streaming apps like Periscope and Meerkat to watch it for free. No word on how many people got to see that fight using those apps, but it was
so many
quite
people
a few
tuned in for that. I mean, everyone I know was, you know, just glued to their screens to watch that fight.
No doubt.
And
I mean,
there was some
I think everyone kind of
disappointed
knew
folks.
someone who was tuning in to watch it in some way.
For sure.
And who hadn't watched boxing in a long time.
That's right. That's right.
Folks who don't watch boxing, Floyd, that's the kind of fights he does. You know, you're going to be like that.
Right.
So, yeah,
those who had watched
exciting.
him before, this was pretty much par for the course.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if you hadn't watched him, say, Tyson Spinks or Buster Douglas,
wow,
it's a much different story.
That's going way back.
Way back.
Yeah, different story altogether. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, for us, you can't fight this. Weather's changing, which is good because we want to get a little more rain coming our way, and that's going to be quite nice to get at least even a little bit of precipitation. Let's go outside now and check out things.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I know.
I haven't heard that word in a while.
It's a strange word, precipitation, we're getting here in Southern California. It is really kind of part of our weather right now. And we'll see that continue here as we get cloudier and cloudier the rest of the week. And then finally, about Thursday or so, we will see the rain drop in. But now let's talk about the surf. This is dangerous stuff. The high surf advisory in effect till 11 p.m. on Tuesday. LA and Orange County beaches. Catalina Island as well. We're talking 12-foot sets. Very, very strong rip current as well. Now, take a look here. We can see some of those waves. Those are fairly impressive. Not 12-foot sets there, but still some dangerous stuff. It's a rip current you don't see. That's very, very dangerous this time of year. Laguna Beach right there live at an HD. A nice view otherwise. To downtown we go, and the blue skies above. Cool temps below. We're talking 62 degrees. 60% relative humidity. And today our temp right on the button where it should be. 74 degrees. The average temp for this date, with our sunset minutes away at 7:38, 6:01 tomorrow. The sun rising up, and watch for that full moon tonight before the clouds move in and obscure it too much. Now watch, here's what's going to change our weather. First thing, mountain areas could see a little precipitation from this little bit of energy coming through tonight into tomorrow. But the real weather maker comes our way as we look ahead towards next week, or the end of next week, with some showers move in Thursday into Friday and Saturday. Tonight down to 59 in Pasadena, 53 in Lancaster, 56 for Malibu as well. Now the cooler temps tomorrow, quite evident when you look at 66 in Simi Valley, 67 Thousand Oaks, 62 at Malibu. Inland a little more sunshine, so in the 70s there, but those are spots we saw in 90s only a few days ago. Now we look ahead, 7-day power back to where they're showing you partly cloudy skies turn into mostly cloudy Tuesday, Wednesday. Here comes those shower chances starting Thursday nights into Friday to Saturday morning, but clearing out by Saturday afternoon into Sunday, bumping up to 77 by the end of the weekend. Now for the valleys in the Inland Empire, we're looking at partly sunny skies, getting cloudier and cloudier, and the rain chances starting late Thursday into Friday, tapering off Saturday morning, clear and warm on Sunday. The beaches, gray all week. for the most part until we get to Sunday. We're talking cloudier and cloudier with a little drizzle tomorrow and Tuesday morning hours. Then the shower chances Thursday into Friday, Saturday, and then cleared out pretty nice on Sunday. For the mountain spots, we're looking at showers tomorrow and Tuesday. A little break. The next chance of showers Thursday, Friday into Saturday as well. And for the high desert, different story here. Warm and windy to start the week in the 70s, and then dropping down to the 60s quite quickly Thursday, Friday with the rain chances moving in, but gone by Sunday. And back up near 80 degrees. So really going like 20-degree difference in some spots from Thursday, Friday to Sunday. So there you go.
Okay. Thanks.
Danny, thanks.
Yeah.
A New York City police officer remains in critical condition today after getting shot in the head. Police say he and his partner were in an unmarked police car when they encountered the suspect, now identified as 35-year-old Demetrius Blackwell. They say Blackwell fired at least twice, striking 25-year-old officer Brian Moore. Police say there was no time for Moore to return fire. After a house-by-house search, fellow officers arrested Blackwell, but they say they have not yet found the weapon used in the shooting.
Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, several minors are accused of stealing guns and taking them to a treehouse. More than 60 weapons were recovered after police responded to a burglary report. Officers say they also found a large amount of ammunition. Police say 5 kids ranging in age from 11 to 14 took some of the weapons to their treehouse and actually practiced shooting them. Officers say the owner of those guns was not home. He's 93 years old and currently in an area hospital.
A scare on a sky tram at the Kansas City Zoo in Missouri. About 100 people were stranded 35 feet in the air yesterday when the ride suddenly stopped over the Africa exhibit. The zoo says a safety mechanism caused the ride to stop when a fuse blew, and that it was a struggle to start the backup engine. One couple captured the experience on video.
We've been stuck for about 40 minutes. We're wondering if maybe we'll have to either jump into one of those giant parachute things that firemen will be holding, or if they're going to send a hook and ladder up after us.
Some Africa exhibits could be dangerous with lions and hippos, but the zoo says the riders were stuck above herbivores, including gazelles and zebras, and that no one was ever in any danger. Eventually, the zoo got the ride going again and gave all those stranded on board or in line with tickets for got a full refund.
It's been 150 years since the death of Abraham Lincoln, but this weekend many people attended a memorial service in the late president's honor.
That's right. Still to come on Eyewitness News, we'll take you to his hometown where hundreds gathered for a reenactment of Lincoln's funeral.
And now it's a name game for the new royal princess. After the break, we'll tell you what names or what names are looking like winners. Yes, that's what we want to tell you. We'll be right back.
Thousands of people in Springfield, Illinois, including many in 1860s clothing, reenacted President Abraham Lincoln's funeral procession in his hometown. It's all to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's funeral. Drums pounded out yesterday to mark Abraham Lincoln's death. There were people dressed as soldiers in Union blues, including several direct descendants of those who accompanied Lincoln's casket as they retraced the exact funeral route.
As reenactors, we try to project ourselves back to the way people who lived during the time, how they would have felt during this period of time. So I think a lot of us are sort of meditating on that during this whole process.
The commemoration began Friday with events running throughout the weekend.
We're still waiting on a name for the new royal princess, but experts are saying Alice and Charlotte are frontrunners. Meantime, grandparents on both sides of the princess's family drove to Kensington Palace today to meet their new granddaughter. Prince William and the Duchess of Cambridge introduced the baby princess to the world yesterday, just hours after being born. The baby girl weighed 8 pounds 3 ounces at birth. She is fourth in line for the British throne.
We are updating our top stories at 7:30, including the latest on a shooting at a controversial art event near Dallas.
Plus, we're tracking dangerous conditions along the coast as high surf has lifeguards on alert.
And a sailboat on its side off the coast of Venice. Find out how it happened and what happened to those on board.
Plus, a man goes on a joyride after stealing a plane. Find out what we're learning about the suspect and where he took that plane.
This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
We begin here at 7:30 with an update on breaking news. I'm Giovanna Lotta.
I'm Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7:30 p.m. There's been a shooting at a controversial art event near Dallas. That event features a contest for cartoon depictions of the Prophet Muhammad. One police officer and 2 suspects were shot. Those suspects are dead. Witnesses say they were told the officer will survive his injuries. There are reports the suspects were also carrying backpacks. We're also learning that the bomb squad is checking those suspects' car because they believe there may be explosives inside. We will continue to monitor this story and update you here on Eyewitness News, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, and ABC7.com as details become available.
Another big story tonight, the big waves have been a big attraction for beachgoers today, and surfers are enjoying the conditions. In Newport Beach, some waves hit up to 20 feet. Lifeguards patrolled the beaches and the water to make sure everyone was safe. They even set up yellow tape to keep onlookers farther back. The National Weather Service says the waves will also bring strong rip currents. The big swells are being caused by several storms hundreds of miles away.
LA County lifeguards came to the rescue of this listing sailboat. The 45-foot-long sailboat was floating off the Venice Pier with a broken keel. Lifeguards on the beach spotted the boat in distress and responded within 5 minutes. 4 people were on board. They were all rescued. Lifeguards say the high winds were a contributing factor. The captain of the boat was even thrown overboard at one point, but no one suffered any injuries. For more on the high winds and the dangerous surf, let's get right to Danny Romero. Danny?
Thanks very much, Jory. Well, it's the surf that's really the biggest concern right now. We've got a high surf advisory in effect until Tuesday at 11 p.m. So still another couple of days of this around the L.A. and Orange County coastal spots, also Catalina Island. We showed you those huge waves. Now, the normal sets in this advisory are 5 to 10 with some of those 12-foot waves, and like Giovanna mentioned, a 20-foot wave here or there. Not out of the question, obviously. And the dangerous rip current, the stuff you don't see underneath, that's the stuff to really watch out for. That's why you stay out of the water unless you're a very experienced swimmer. Otherwise, stay back and just enjoy the view of nature and the power of it. Here's a great shot now of Disneyland California Adventure. Radiator Springs looking nice on a Sunday night, and the temps very nice and mild. 60s through the inland spots, a little cooler and cloudier on the coast at 60 for Santa Monica too. Now, everything changes more during the week ahead. I'll tell you about that with a 7-day in just a bit. Giovanna, Joy right now. It's yours.
Danny, thank you. In Bellflower, a man accidentally drives his car halfway through a building. Take a look at this picture sent to us by Altito Ortiz using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness. You can see the back half of the car sticking out of the abandoned building. Police say the driver was trying to make a right turn on Main Street from Bellflower Boulevard when he had a brake malfunction and slammed straight into the building. Luckily, no injuries were reported. And police are investigating a traffic accident involving a Blue Line Metro train in downtown Los Angeles. It happened around 1:30 this afternoon on Flower Street. A blue Chevy Cruze traveling southbound hit the Blue Line train as it was trying to get on the eastbound 10 freeway. Police tell us no one was hurt and the scene has since been cleared.
The search continues for 2 suspects after an officer-involved shooting in San Bernardino. Police say around 6 o'clock last night they received a call about 3 men in an alley off North Meridian Avenue. The caller said one of the suspects had a gun. Officers say when they arrived, the 3 men ran, but that one turned around with a gun in his hand. Police opened fire, hitting him, but he was later released from the hospital. That suspect has been identified as 28-year-old parolee Arthur Felder. The 2 other men managed to get away. No officers were hurt, and it's unclear what the suspects were doing and why they ran.
In North Hollywood, 2 men are wounded during a drive-by shooting. The shots rang out at Gentry Avenue and Cantara Street just after 10:30 last night. First responders arrived to find the 2 victims laying in the middle of the street. Police say both men were rushed to a hospital in serious condition with multiple gunshot wounds. No suspects have been identified.
Comedian Bill Cosby continues to be shadowed by demonstrators who accuse him of sexual misconduct. The latest protest was last night in Marietta, Georgia. The Georgia show was the last stop on Cosby's current tour, which is called Far From Finished. Demonstrators held signs and chanted slogans. Many of those attending say the show say they support Cosby and do not believe the allegations against him.
In Las Vegas, drama high in the skies as a former student pilot allegedly steals a small airplane and takes it for a joyride. When he finally came in for a landing, the police were waiting. ABC's Clayton Sandell has more.
The calls about a possibly rogue pilot in a twin-engine plane like this one flying over Las Vegas started coming in Saturday just after midnight.
He claims that he stole an airplane from the airport.
Allegedly at the controls, 27-year-old Evan Grant, reportedly a former flight school student. Authorities watching nervously.
A twin engine over a highly populated area is a formula for disaster.
But as he flies, Grant begins talking to an alert air traffic controller.
Got it screwed up your night, didn't I?
I just want you to get down to the ground safely. We'll go and grab some coffee, go to my house, whatever. We'll just talk, okay? Let's calm down.
After about an hour in the air, Grant is finally convinced to land, thanks to that stranger on the radio.
Since you've kept me company, I'll just make it easier for you, and I'll just come down.
These are extraordinary people, and when certain things happen that are extraordinary, they come to the rescue as fast as they can.
As he turns back to the airport, Grant tells that controller he knows he's in big trouble.
I've already committed enough felonies. I can't believe I'm never going to get to do this again.
You will. You will.
Until then, Grant is grounded, facing felony charges for stealing a plane. He has not entered a plea. Clayton Sandell, ABC News, Denver.
In Poland, a man dies after being hit by a rubber bullet, and 14 police officers suffer burns and bruises in riots during a Polish League football match. Authorities say fans of the local team stormed the pitch during yesterday's game, with the home team down 4-1. Police shooting rubber bullets at the people there struck a 27-year-old man in the neck, who later died at a hospital. That's where more rioting broke out, and officials say some fans even had Molotov cocktails. An investigation is now underway, and an autopsy of the man is planned for Monday.
Survivors and U.S. veterans joined German Chancellor Angela Merkel today to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the liberation of the Dachau concentration camp. The camp near Munich was the first set up after Adolf Hitler took power in 1933. More than 200,000 people were held there, with more than 40,000 prisoners dying. It was liberated by U.S. troops on April 29, 1945. Merkel pledged to keep the memory of Nazi crimes alive and continue to fight present-day discrimination.
A local elementary school is getting a fresh new look thanks to some special volunteers.
And still to come on Eyewitness News, we'll show you the makeover at this Inglewood school that's sure to put smiles on students' faces.
I think we see Giovanna in there somewhere. And classic car lovers converged on Beverly Hills today. Here's a look at some amazing cars as exhibitors look to take home some prestigious awards. It was a beautiful day to enjoy some classic cars in Beverly Hills. Hundreds gathered for the 6th annual Greystone Mansion Concours d'Elegance. Some 150 world-class automobiles and motorcycles were on display at the event today. They featured everything from Porsches and Jaguars to Alfa Romeos and many more.
I'm a big car buff, and I've been coming here for a couple years, so it's always a great event, and I like to look at all the cool cars.
The Concours d'Elegance helps support the Friends of Greystone, an organization dedicated to the preservation of the Greystone Mansion. Our very own car specialist, Dave Coons, served as Master of Ceremonies.
Looking dapper there. Wow. Here's one of my favorite stories of the day because I got to participate. It's the 17th annual Big Sunday Community Service Weekend. Thousands of volunteers across the state got together this weekend to give back to their communities. One of those many events took place today at Kelso Elementary School in Inglewood. Students, teachers, and parents from the Center for Early Education in West Hollywood came together with students at Kelso to bring a splash of color to the school, planting a garden, brightening up classrooms, and turning a boring cement wall into a beautiful mural.
It teaches everybody that there's so much more that we can do than we actually think that we can do. I bet none of these kids knew that they knew how to paint a mural. And look at how beautiful it is. We all can make a huge difference.
Big Sunday started back in 1999, and so far volunteers have logged more than 1 million man-hours and counting, helping out the community and each other.
All right, looks like it was a great event out there.
It's fun. It's fun to watch the kids get into all the paint.
Get any paint fights?
No, thankfully.
You're always this close when you have that much paint and that many kids. A newborn in Texas is getting a lot of attention, but it's easy to see why.
Still to come, we'll meet this sweet baby giraffe who's making her public debut.
And in sports, a brutal day by the Bay for the Angels. Kurt has your low lights next.
Okay, everyone, meet Kapenzi. The baby giraffe was born just 3 weeks ago. Thousands watched her live-streamed birth. This weekend, she made her public debut at the Dallas Zoo, frolicking around her enclosure and sticking close to Mom. Zookeepers say she now weighs in at a whopping 182 pounds. That's at 3 weeks.
Wow. She
is slowly being introduced to the rest of the herd.
Look at that.
Beautiful. So graceful.
Yeah, I can't get over how cute that is.
Yeah.
It's just insanely
a little,
cute.
calf, right? It's a baby giraffe.
Yeah.
Are they kids?
And that's pretty cute behind us,
calves.
too.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Joey's are
Now
kangaroos. We got to come up with this.
He gets stuck on these things.
I know. And I want to move on. I'm distracted now by the great sunset.
Yes. Oh, look at that.
It's gorgeous.
That's nice. Is that our Angelus camera?
It matches my top.
Oh, yes. More importantly, it matches her top. Forget everything else. It matches her top.
That's right.
Once again, we know who's most important up here. And you know what? We're all okay with that.
Let's talk about the weather.
We are all okay with that. We love her so much. Let's go outside and talk about the surf. That's the big thing going on right now. It's because it could be dangerous, so I want you to know about this. LA and Orange County coastal areas are under this high surf advisory until Tuesday night at 11 p.m. because we are seeing sets up to 20 feet. That's just dangerous, plus the rip current that goes with that. So these areas, LA, Orange County, Catalina Island, under the surf advisory until Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Now, outdoors we go. Another beautiful view here, the dusky part of the day. LAX live at an HD. The coast looking nice right now, but watch for some clouds, marine layer clouds to move in before the night is done. Outside we go. Oh, a great shot of that full moon, now obscured by our signage there. But trust me, there's a full moon lurking out there in the background. A great window night to get a view of it before it's all said and done. Irvine Spectrum, Orange County looking good here on a Sunday night. To downtown we go. Clear skies and cool temperatures. 62 degrees right now. Barely a breeze of 7 miles per hour and our relative humidity at 60%. And here's the changing weather coming our way. A little disturbance moving through the area, hitting our mountain spots tomorrow and Tuesday, bringing a chance of precipitation there, but then gone by late Tuesday afternoon. The real thing cooking, what we're going to watch for, is this low to our north. Watch this progress now, Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday, and by Thursday, we'll see it in place, bringing this onshore flow, which means cool marine air comes on, a little moisture in the air, giving us a chance of some showers. We're going to call about 20-30% chance of showers going on here Thursday into Friday, tapering off by Saturday. But we'll take it. 45 tonight down to Wrightwood, 54 for the overnight low in Palmdale, 56 for Malibu. And then tomorrow, kind of May gray on the coast, so low 60s for the highs there. But inland, a little sunshine later in the day, 74 for Santa Clarita, warmer in Palmdale at 79. Through the IE, 74 in San Bernardino. Now we look ahead. 7-day powered by AccuWeather. Here we go. Partly cloudy skies getting mostly cloudy as it all builds up to the showers coming in Thursday, Friday, tapering off Saturday morning. Turning into a pretty good Sunday, though, to 77. For the valleys in the Inland Empire, partly sunny skies, low 70s, and then cooling down to the 60s when the rain moves through Thursday, Friday, and gone by Saturday afternoon. A clear, warm Sunday up to 77 degrees there. For the beaches, drizzle tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning as well. Cloudy all day, still cloudy and cool for Wednesday. And then by Thursday, Friday, shower chances into the Saturday morning time slot. For the mountain spots, showers tomorrow and Tuesday chances, and then cool and windy for one day, and that next shower chance. And the cold temps dropped from 63 down to 44 by Friday, and then cleared out by Sunday. And the high desert, windy conditions and warm to start the week, upper 70s and strong winds, and then drop into the 60s as that rain chance moves in Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday, and then right back up near 80 degrees on Sunday.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, Daddy.
Okay, got it.
Danny, thanks.
Yep.
Kurt's here now with sports. It's a pretty good game going on right now.
Jory is a Maryland hockey terp and loves hockey. We're watching a little hockey during Danny's weather. No offense, Romero. But the hottest team on ice makes its home in Orange County. The Ducks last lost about a month ago, April 8th to be exact. Tonight they're looking for their 6th consecutive win in the playoffs. They hold a 1-0 lead in their series and a 1-0 lead in the game. At the end of the first period against Calgary, we'll have highlights and postgame on ABC7 Eyewitness News at 11. In baseball, a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel at the Ravine. Brad Anderson on the bump for Big Blue, and he and 7 other Dodger pitchers combined for 13 scoreless innings. J.P. Howell in the 13th, gets away, run on third. Look at this. Backhanded for the out. That is a sensational play. And it may have sparked what happened in the bottom of the 13th. Yasmani Grandal, muy bien, mi amigo. What a shot. Dodgers walk off with a dramatic 1-0 win in 13 innings. They have the best home record in baseball at 13-2. Elsewhere in the Bay Area, Jared Weaver is just having himself a nightmare of a start to the season. Nori Aoki leads off and takes aim at Santa Rosa. That's a solo shot, and it's 1-0. Weaver, he must not be warming up properly or something. I'm telling you, he just can't get out of the first inning. This time, another home run. As it turns out, Weaver gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, and the Angel offense does not exist. The Giants win at 5-0. They complete a 3-game sweep. As for the Clippers, well, they've got the day off. They flew to Houston for the start of that new series in the second round. Game 1 is tomorrow. Steph Curry out of Golden State will be named the league MVP tomorrow. The honor well-deserved. He carried the Warriors franchise to a record 67 wins, averaging some 24 points a game and shooting a staggering 44% from beyond the arc. That's the three-point line. Back to the Bay Area, a little golf, if you will, and that is Rory McIlroy. He needed a dramatic finish against Jim Furyk in the World Match Play Championships, and look how he closed out the veteran, 44 feet away, and dare I say, in the clown's mouth. So he met American Gary Woodland in an 18-hole finale. On the 6th hole, another bomb, and that's center cut. Woodland then needed to hole out on the 6th hole, and when he does not, Rory McIlroy, the number 1 player in the golf, wins the number 1 paycheck at the World Match Play Championship. And in cheerleading, SCV Cheer in Santa Clarita sent 7 teams to the national championship. 4 of them won a national championship.
That's impressive.
It is. And I know
someone with an
a little Isabella Grace Sandoval, my little 9-year-old.
Boom. Good
Proud daddy.
Congratulations.
Good stuff.
That's
I didn't
a lot
do
of hours of practice. I know.
No, it is.
A lot of hours of practice. Thank you, Kurt, and congrats. New tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7, a young boy with a life-threatening illness. He was saved thanks to a bone marrow donation. Watch as he meets the man who saved his life. And a waitress refuses a tip from a governor, and it was all to send a message. We'll explain those stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Well, coming up next here on LA56, we'll tell you what topped the box office this weekend.
Plus, the fashion icon is now the subject of a new film. We'll introduce you to Iris just ahead.
The Avengers made a debut of heroic proportions at the weekend box office.
Here we all are. Nothing but our wit and our will to save the world.
Avengers Age of Ultron earned a staggering $187.7 million in its opening weekend, making it the second biggest U.S. opening of all time. The Marvel and Disney sequel failed to top the all-time record of the first film's $207.4 million debut back in 2012. Way back in second place. I'm talking way back in second place.
You don't have to rub it in.
Adeline. It's not the Age of Adeline. It's just impressive. Look at the difference.
Yeah,
it's
the numbers are...
$180 million.
Yes.
Adeline finished second at 6.3. Furious 7 brings in another $6.1 million, followed by Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2, and Home.
She is a 93-year-old style icon, and she does it her way, all the way. Now a new film documents her creative passion for fashion. Entertainment guru George Pinocchio introduces us to Iris.
I get more kick out of this. It costs $4 and change, and if my husband took me to Harry Winston.
93-year-old Iris Apfel is a firm believer in style. She's been collecting clothing and jewelry for decades, doing her own version of mix and match, from designer pieces to flea market finds.
Is there a secret to style?
No, there isn't any secret at all. I just don't think you can order it up or say, I want to have style. I think it involves something in your DNA, and then I think you have to work at it. You have to find out who you are, what you can carry off, how much effort you want to put into it, and how much you want to work at it. Mrs. Loman, the original, said, you're not pretty, and you'll never be pretty, but it doesn't matter. You have something much better. You have style. It really implies not buying a lot of wonderful clothes. That helps, of course. But some of the most stylish people I think I've ever met are primitive people or people with very little money, because I think style is attitude, attitude, attitude. I didn't give a damn about going to the party or being at the party. It was getting dressed for the party. And there's truth and poetry in that.
Iris was directed by the late Albert Maysles, the man behind Gimme Shelter and Grey Gardens. He liked her story. Over the years, she's worked in interior design, manufactured fabrics, and restored fabrics for major museum collections and for the White House. These days, you might find her working as a model.
Iris, when people now ask you what your profession is, what's the answer?
I'm a geriatric starlet.
Iris is now in limited release. George Pinocchio, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
That is one cool
She's
geriatric
fascinating.
starlet. Yeah, I love her. Hats off to social media. A Buffalo Bills t-shirt helped reunite a couple with their long-lost camera. Returning home from a vacation in Hawaii, Sherry and Sean Wright thought they had lost that camera forever. They had no idea where they had left it. But lucky for them, Lydia Hopner, a good Samaritan who worked for the Hawaiian rental car company, found it in that vehicle. She posted the information on Facebook. The couple spotted the Buffalo Bills shirt, made the connection, and arranged to get that camera back. Now the Wrights are planning to send Lydia her very own Buffalo Bills t-shirt.
Nice. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7 here on LA56. LA56 Weekend Theater is next.
Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7, anytime on ABC7.com. We'll see you tomorrow night back here on LA56. Good night.